DRBU is nothing that you would have ever experienced before. Like, I'm gonna say that. But I mean, any university that you go to is a full experience. So it's like, it's not just the education that you're getting, but it's also like where you live for 4 years and like who your friends are and what you do and like so on and so forth. So I think being at DRBU, I always imagined myself in a city when I went to university, and it's like tranquil. It's super calm. It's in the middle of like 700 acres of just beautiful forests and valleys. And so that kind of tranquility that you get there is really beautiful. But the level of transformation that you also have inside of the university, because you're working with text in the classroom that are designed to transform humanity. That's what it's done over the past like hundreds of years or thousands of years. So you see how that works on like a societal level, but then also on a personal level. And then you add that into the fact that, usually people that are drawn to this type of university are people that, prefer critical thinking rather than just accepting the status quo. I used to joke that every single person, nun or not, or monk or not, was a rebel if they went to DRBU. They wanted something a little different. That kind of critical thinking really opens up conversations with yourself and with the world and with the other people that you're interacting with every day, as well as the fact that you are in a monastery. So the expectation is, I will say, the expectation is that you do transform and that you grow. Like, I think about when I came into DRB when I was 18 years old. I was like, oh my gosh, I was 18. But then I also think about how much, people saw me grow, hopefully, like year after year. And how much I've grown even since then. And I think that's incredible that when I went into a university, nobody expected me to be perfect and nobody expected me to stay the same. And that gives you so much room to really grow with what you're learning. As well as, I mean, talk about days for like the experience that you get as far as like work and with the service fellowship and whatnot, and really being able to like use that towards your career. I think is really important, but I think we'll probably talk about that more later. That's just kind of my general experience with DRBU. I don't know if you had the same thing, Alex, or
Oh, absolutely. Like I think in kind of understanding what DRBU is, like going back to why it was made, like when Master Hua made DRBU, he said this is my gift to the world. And I think that like touching on everything you said of like he built a place so that you would be able to transform yourself and then hopefully go on and do something and like take that into the world with you. So the whole program is really designed around that, where in the classroom it's all discussion based. So you're reading these texts that are like kind of a window into the soul of different parts of humanity, and then using that as a way to explore yourself and also like kind of deepen and refine your thought process through discussion. And like just as part of like what it's like to kind of be in that space, it's like it's very, you have to learn how to cooperate and work with each other. Like firstly, of like, okay, you put in a room for 3 hours to talk about something. It's like, oh, you better figure out, you got to figure it out soon. And you also have to be prepared. You can't, it's very clear if you haven't read the material. But I think that over time, there's like a special kind of bond that happens with you and your classmates. You get to kind of see a fairly unique side of them that's developed over 2 or 4 years. Then going into like going to school in a monastery, like in some ways there's a lot of, it's definitely not a typical college experience. There's a lot of things you can't do, but I think that at the same time, it's a really great opportunity to explore certain parts of yourself, because the expectations and the way that you're going to operate within the monastery, within the temple, are not going to be like anywhere else that you will ever go. And so the being in this place where you're precepted for 2 or 4 years gives you a chance to explore some of these basic human forces in ourselves. And then like definitely I think service scholarship. I think CTDP and DRBU runs off of heroic efforts, and it's really hard not to be like inspired being around these people. And whether it's something from cleaning dishes to running programs or doing big projects, there's a huge opportunity to actualize whatever it is that you're working on, in yourself through the classes or through your spiritual practice, or you're given a huge amount of leeway. And if you say, oh, I have this great idea, oftentimes like, okay, that's great, go and do it.